the voice of the OJC. Frank?
Thanks a lot, Gary. One of the greatest races in Canadian history here. They're off and pacing in the 56 Derby final. Firing right out is Red Bow Tie, and Luke Willette goes boldly to the front. Armbro Nautilus sprinting on the outside with Pacific Fella. There's Noble Ability and Campbell spotted at the inside at 4th. DM Dillinger is 5th. Western Dreamer is on the outside 6th. Dauntless Bunny is 7th and parked 3 wide into the first turn. Armbro Pluto is 3rd from last. Then Little Stephen and Toontown is 10th and last away. The one parked 3 wide was Dauntless Bunny. Red Bow Tie is controlling it up front. Armbro Nautilus took in from 2nd. Dauntless Bunny's got to go on. 25 and 3 the first quarter into the backstretch. Red Bow Tie. Dauntless Bunny has got to go on. Armbro Nautilus stays there in the pocket. 3 more lengths, and Noble Ability is 4th. DM Dillinger 5th. Pacific Fella lays off the speed but is out all the way from 6th. Little Stephen is up to 7th. Western Dreamer in traffic is back there in 8th. Armbro Pluto 9th. Toontown is 10th. 53 and 3. They've tied the track record for the fastest half ever. Dauntless Bunny briefly to the front. Red Bow Tie retakes. Armbro Nautilus to the inside 3rd, and Noble Ability is tipped out from 4th. Now Pacific Fella has 2nd over cover from 5th. There's 3/8 to go. On the inside 6, DM Dillinger, and Western Dreamer is edging closer from 7th. Armbro Pluto 8th on the outside. Little Stephen is 9th and trailing Toontown. It's Red Bow Tie. They've got a catch coming to the top of the stretch. 1:22 and 2. Still going strong in the third quarter. 27 and 4. Red Bow Tie and Luke Willette. You can hear him on his trackside mic urging him on. That's Red Bow Tie into the final 8. Noble Ability is stalking on the outside. Western Dreamer alongside Dauntless Bunny. It's Noble Ability coming past John Campbell, the Canadian Pacing Derby upset man a couple of years ago. 11 to 1 with Ball and Chain. 17 to 1 this time with Noble Ability in 1:50 and 1/5. Over Red Bow Tie, it looked like Toontown made a bid for 3rd. Another huge upset. John Campbell, Gary and Kent might feel a little bit like Rodney Dangerfield there, but he got the most of it.
Frank, you took the words right out of my mouth. And the winner is Noble Ability. Certainly noble tonight, and he had an awful lot of ability. Owned by the Peter Pan Stables of Pepper Pike, Ohio. That's a mouthful. Trained by Jonas Stutzman. And again, John Campbell aboard. Ken, let's take a look at this one. Heading down to Ken Hornick, who's in the winner's circle. Ken?
Thank you very much, Gary. John Campbell's had 4 winners on the program tonight. This, of course, the biggest winning the Canadian Pacing Derby with Noble Ability. Congratulations, John.
Thanks a lot, Ken.
Looking at the program going in, John, the idea was to get yourself into the flow early, and that's exactly what you did out there.
Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. You just can't be too far back on this track, and I wanted to get it away from the gate somewhat near the front, so you at least give him a chance to win. And it worked out well. I hit a hole going around before the first turn, and that was the key. If he'd been parked around the first turn, it would have been much more difficult.
I heard you say to Bob Glazer, this horse was awesome tonight. This is you coming off the last turn right now on the outside, and you and Red Bow Tie would battle down the long stretch here.
Yeah, he felt real strong in the middle of the last turn. I just kind of let him ease up there. I hadn't asked him to pace, and when I called on him, and he paced strong for a long time. He was pacing hard at the head of the stretch, and he really carried his speed right through the wire. And that's a big effort for a horse to come first up and win a race like this.
Great job, John. Let's now chat with Peter Pan Stables' Bob Glazer. Bob, you love winning races.
Oh, sure. Who doesn't, Ken?
Heading into the race, 17 to 1 on the odds board. Joe Stutzman told me last week the horse was ready, and he raced large tonight.
Well, he raced great last week in the elimination, Ken. And when I talked to Joe this week, I said, Joe, I think we're in a tough spot with the draw. And he said, well, he said, I won this race last year. They're going to have to take it from me.
And how about getting John Campbell as the catch driver?
Well, John had driven this horse earlier in the year at the Meadowlands, and I knew he knew the horse well, and I knew Luke was committed to Red Bow Tie, so John was the logical choice.
Way to go, Bob.
Hey, thank you. Congratulations to everybody here. It was a great evening.
Back upstairs to Gary and Ken.
All right, Ken, congratulations to the connections of Noble Ability, winner of the 1998 Canadian Pacing Derby final. Noble Ability, the winner.